All right. So today I want to watch this interrogation of Stephanie Lazarus. I've been wanting to watch it for a while. I've seen clips and stuff on like Dateline and everything, but I actually wanted to like see it for myself. If you're not familiar with the case, here's like a really quick overview. On February 24th, 1986, 29-year-old newlywed Sherry Rasmussen was murdered in the home she shared with her husband John. The crime scene suggested a ferocious struggle, and police initially assumed it was a burglary gone awry. Before her death, Sherry had confided to her parents that an ex-girlfriend of John's, a Los Angeles police officer, had threatened her. The Rasmussens urged the LAPD to investigate the ex-girlfriend, but the original detectives only pursued burglary suspects, and the case went cold. DNA analysis did not exist when Sherry was murdered. Decades later, a swab from a bite mark on Sherry's arm revealed her killer was in fact female, not male. That's when the trajectory of the investigation changed, and it actually happened in 1986, and it was a cold case until 2009, which is pretty crazy to think about. But anyway, there was this interrogation, and like I said, I've seen clips of it, and I thought it was a really interesting interrogation, so I wanted to check it out. It's actually pretty short for one of these, only like an hour, just over an hour long. There's also like I said, there's a Dateline episode. There's a ton of YouTube documentaries about this. There's a book about, there's at least one book about it. I've got the book on the way, but I haven't read it yet. But there's a bunch of YouTube kind of like documentaries and kind of short takes on it and everything. But I just wanted to watch the interrogation because I think it's one of the more interesting parts of the case. So here we go.
I'm not sure. Stephanie, I don't know if you know my partner.
Hey, great.
Hi.
Stars, nice to
Yeah,
meet
see
you.
you guys.
How's it going?
Good.
Milling around. Well,
I just love like the chess game between like this is true of depositions too. I love to watch depositions, so I can see why some people might think these are boring, but I think they're really fascinating, like psychological, like, I don't know about battles, but like there's just a lot of like mind games going on in a lot of these.
have a seat. What this is I didn't want to bring this up in your squadron.
You want him
Oh, no, it's fine. I think
I
we're
use that
good.
for the quarter to under this term.
So this is Stephanie Lazarus, who's the ex-girlfriend of the guy whose girlfriend got murdered. And she used to be LAPD. And again, this crime took place in 1986, and she's being interrogated in 2009. I think this is 2009.
You're gonna bring somebody in, right?
Yeah, well, I can explain the whole thing
That's
too.
fine.
I don't want to talk about this in the squadron
That's
because
okay.
I don't know who people are listening.
That's true,
And if we go to my side, everybody's always wondering what everybody else is
sure,
doing.
no problem.
Okay. But like we're talking about being busy and stuff, we've been assigned a case that we've been looking at.
Okay.
It's a new case, and reviewing the case, there's some notes to see as far as your name being mentioned.
Okay.
Do you know John Rutten?
John Bruton. John Rutten?
Rutten.
Oh, yeah, I went to school with him.
You did?
Yeah.
How long did you know him?
Gosh, I went to school in, let's see, went to UCLA in 1978 I started, and, met him at school at the dorm.
Yeah, exactly, Barn Ripper, and that's one of the fascinating parts of it, is to see as the struggle happens, like how they end up being able to get the information they want.
Mm-hmm. Were you guys friends, close friends?
Yeah, we're very close friends.
Yeah.
I mean, what's this all about?
Well, it's a case we're working on. It involves John, and in there, some of the statements we reviewed, there's notes and stuff that he knew you and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we good friends, lived in the dorms I lived in the dorms for 2 years.
You guys lived in the same dorm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Dykstra.
Okay. Were you guys just friends or anything else, or?
Yeah, we were good friends.
Yeah. Was there ever any relationship or anything that developed between you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we dated.
Uh-huh.
You know, I mean, what's this all about?
Well, it's relating to his wife.
Okay.
Okay. Did you know her?
Not really. I mean, I knew that he got married years ago.
Uh-huh. Did you ever meet her?
God, I don't know.
Do you know who she was or anything?
Well, let me think. God, it's been a long time ago. I may have met her. Geez, you know.
Yeah. Well, let me see. Let me ask you. You said you dated John. How long did you guys date?
I mean, well, are you guys? Is this something? I mean, you said I was going to interview somebody about art, and how you guys are.
Here's
I mean,
Stephanie, here's the situation. It's basically, we knew that this,
We're off to a great start.
when we saw this in this chrono, that maybe, there was some relationship there. That's what the chrono seemed to indicate, and we didn't want to come up to you at your desk and ask those kinds of questions or do anything. You know how up there people can see what's going on if you go into an interview room or people are in there getting supplies.
Okay. I mean,
so we wanted to afford you some privacy, some confidentiality to talk about this, because we thought it might be, something, you're married to someone else, obviously, and so forth, and that you may not want to, talk about these things in that setting where someone, we don't want the rumor mill or gossip or any of that kind of stuff
I mean,
to start.
that's fine. I mean,
So we did this just as a means to try and speak to you in just a confidential place where where your business isn't out there for other people in your division to know about.
God, that's been a million years ago. I mean, what year is it now? 2009? I mean, I graduated in 82. 82, yeah. We dated.
She should have clammed up. Yeah, that's pretty much the best advice in any of these type of scenarios.
I dated other guys. I'm sure he dated other girls.
Well, let me ask you, roughly how long would you say you guys dated?
Oh, jeez. I couldn't even say. I mean,
Like, her reaction is so, like, strong, but I mean, it's been over what is like almost 20 years, 1986, over 20 years. So, like, imagine you commit a crime and then like over 20 years pass and nothing happens. And then just out of the blue, like, boom, like you're right in the crosshairs. That's I'm surprised she's taking it this well. Yes, I'd like a lawyer, yeah.
started school there in 78.
Mm-hmm.
I started UCLA in 1978.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated in 82. I don't even remember what year he graduated, if it was a year or two before me.
Okay.
I think he was a little bit older than I was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't remember if he was born, let's say I'm born in 1960. I don't know if he was born in 58 or 59. I mean, I knew his parents. I knew his sister. His brother went to Northridge.
Mm-hmm.
His sister had spent the night at my house before. Obviously, I spent the night at his house before. He probably spent the night at my house before.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, because from what you're telling me, is you guys dated while you were in college together, right?
Yeah, and probably after college. I can't. Geez, trying to think when I met my husband. I met my husband when did I meet Scott? Let's see. I was teaching DARE, because I met Scott when I was teaching DARE up in Oregon. But we had long stopped,
This lady was a DARE instructor? Oh no. Her, like, this strategy of like not having having a lot to say but not giving any answers. I don't know how effective that's going to be.
dating before that.
So you haven't talked to him for a long time?
Oh, I think I haven't talked to him in a long time. I couldn't even tell you when the last time I talked to him. I met Scott, I'm thinking in 92 maybe, April of 92. It was
Scott being your husband.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I was teaching DARE. Let's see, what year is this? We'll be married. I got married in 1996. I think I met Scott in 92. Prior to that, I couldn't tell you how long I had talked to John prior to that.
But since you met your husband, Scott, you haven't talked to him?
How's it going, Yeti life?
I mean, he may have called me.
Like, she is giving her every single, even if they like asked her what her name was, she'd be like, "Oh gosh, I don't, Stephanie. Stephanie sounds right. I think that's my name, Stephanie. I don't know. I think I was born in 1950, 1948. Could be 1952. Like her answer, her like answering, yes, nervous babbling.
once or twice
Uh-huh.
before we got married.
Right.
You know, geez, I moved to Simi in 1994 because I lost my house in the earthquake.
Oh, really?
Quite honestly, I probably keep in contact with a few people from the dorms. We all lived on the 10th floor, and there's about 3 or 4 people I keep in contact with. There's probably like 6 or 8 of us that were all really close.
Mm-hmm.
And who are those people?
Oh, geez, Diana Basta. The people I still keep. I haven't been in contact with her in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's this all about? I mean,
Well, let me ask you, what ended the relationship between you and John?
I don't. It was kind of a weird relationship. I mean, we dated. I can't say that he was my boyfriend. I don't know that he would consider me his girlfriend. We dated. We did things. I played sports in college. He played basketball. His brother played basketball. We just, it just didn't work out. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It was like I went out with other guys.
I thought I've seen the clip, so I knew this was like a pretty wild interrogation, but I thought it would like have to slow burn up to her getting like this, but she's like this out of the gate, like holy shit.
Other guys. I went on lots of vacations. You know,
And once you guys split, were you guys still friends, or kind of,
I mean,
problems? Is it friendly, not
I
friendly?
mean, what are friends? How do you classify a friendship? I mean, we would do things together. We would go places. Is that a friendship? I mean, what's going on here? What's with the questions?
no, I don't think it was not friendly. I mean, we were friendly. I know that we went to Hawaii
Did she say I wouldn't call it not friendly?
at one point. Another friend of mine who's actually dying right now went to Hawaii with us at some point.
Remember roughly when that was?
Oh, geez. Let me think. I'd have to check my pictures. Or I'd say I'd ask Greg, but my friend Greg is like dying of liver cancer right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't bring up this subject because I lost my home in an earthquake. Don't bring up this subject because the person's dying. I can't discuss this. They've got terminal cancer. She's trying to close all these roads by thinking that the cop is going to be uncomfortable talking or pushing her on that. I don't think he is at all.
you know,
And you were
It's-
saying that
it's 2009 now.
had you ever met his wife?
I may have.
Do you remember her name or anything, or?
Um, um,
Or what she did for a living, or where she worked, or anything about her?
well, I think I'm going to say that I think she was a nurse. Man, I can't even remember how he said he met her. I mean, I mean, it's been so long ago.
Well, let me ask you, did you go to their wedding,
No, I didn't go to their wedding. No, did not go to their wedding.
Was this the first direct, fully confirmed answer she's given? It seems like it.
I couldn't even tell you what year he got married. I mean, it's been a million years ago.
Do you ever remember if you ever talked to her? Because it seems like a lot of you who were at the school at UCLA, you guys kind of were friends during and after school, so I don't know if you guys still associated afterwards once he was married or anything.
With him?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I would say, the people that were on the dorm floor, we'd have get-togethers. There's probably like 4 or 5. I don't think he ever came. Yeah, I don't think. No, it was mostly girls. A girl named Smita, Diane.
What was that first name? Smita or Snita? What? Yeah, you're right, south to west. Yeah. That's the only reason the case got reopened was because they didn't have DNA evidence at the time. But then they then later on, decades later, they were able to do that, yeah. So I think they knew they had her at this point.
There's two Dianes, but the one Diane, I don't think she ever came. I kind of lost contact with her. We were good friends on the floor. Yeah, I mean,
Me and my friend Smita.
I don't, again, I mean, what, I don't understand why you're talking about some guy I dated a million years ago.
Well, do you know what happened to his wife?
Yeah, I know she got killed.
What did you hear about that?
I saw a poster at work. I'm sure I spoke to him about it. I think I spoke to another friend of his about it.
And how did you first learn about that?
Jeez. Someone could have called me. I could have heard it at work. I think at one.
How did you hear about it? Somebody could have told me. I could have got a carrier pigeon. Could have come via telegram. Who's to say it was a million years ago?
One point there may have been a flyer or something. I know a good friend of his.
Were you on the job back then when that happened?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm sure I was on the job. That's why I would have heard about it with the flyer. He had a good friend, Mike Boldrick,
Mike Bolshery? What are these? What are these? She's just making up names. It seems like.
Anyways, he may have lived in the dorms. I don't remember if that's how I met him. I may have talked to him. I mean,
what?
I don't remember how I heard. I mean, I don't even remember what year it was.
And you think you said you thought his wife was a nurse. Do you have any idea where she was working at the time, or did he ever mention that to you? Was it a hospital or a doctor's office?
I'm sure he must have mentioned it. Now that you're bringing that up, I think she worked at a hospital somewhere. And yeah, I may have met her at a hospital. I may have talked to her once or twice.
At a hospital?
Or more.
But being that you were kind of used to see John, was everything okay between you guys? I mean, there was never anything uncomfortable or anything between you and her?
I don't know. I mean, it's been so many years. I mean, uncomfortable. I mean, I can't even remember if we had a conversation. I mean, we may have. I may have seen her at his apartment.
How in the world does she think this is the right approach to this? This is so unhinged to me.
Geez, how many years ago was that? I don't even know what year she, got killed.
Where was his apartment?
On Roscoe.
Okay.
Yeah, Roscoe and east or west of DeSoto. Either east or west of DeSoto.
Do you know where he moved after? Did he move after he got married, or do you know, or?
I'm sure he did.
Did you know where he was living, or?
Somewhere in the valley.
Did you ever visit him and his wife?
No.
No, never went out to, get together, dinners, anything of that nature?
No. Like I said, his sister used to come over. His sister had come to my...
Her facial expressions are absolutely killing me. Yeah, she's definitely panicking. Like, the pieces are starting to fall into place. This is so wild to me.
Place. I knew his brother because his brother played basketball at Northridge. In fact, I was just coming across some pictures that I just scanned from. I take a lot of photos, like 10,000, and I just did a service where I scanned everything. And I'd seen some pictures of his brother playing basketball.
You just put them all on your computer so you could have them accessible and do things with them?
Well, my partner is a big photo thing, and he had a deal to scan. So I spent a ton of time just scanning photos. I paid a company to do it. So I've got photos of, his brother, his sister, of
10,000 pictures?
Oh, yeah.
How long did that take them?
Months.
Now, what do they put?
She probably does, but what do you do in that situation? Like, it's murder, so you're in you're in big trouble. So it's not like you can go, all right, You got me. Can I just take an easy sentence? Like, you're probably going to do like a lot of time. So I guess you just kind of got to throw your best foot forward, but man, she's really not having a good run here.
Put that on a. I'm just
Well,
curious myself. Can they put it on?
a
They
DVD.
get that all on one DVD? They don't need like a hard drive or anything?
No. There's like, I think 11 DVDs. Yeah, I don't even have time.
Oh, it's a series of DVDs that they put them on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I got.
I'm not that familiar with computer stuff,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's why I was asking.
It's like 11 DVDs.
Oh, okay.
So, I haven't had a chance to go through them. You could go through and pick which ones you don't want. I don't have time to do that.
Right.
So like you said, did I, I don't think we ever socialized. He'd still call me. I can't say that I would. I mean, if he's married, I don't know that I would have called him. I mean, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. It's been a million years ago.
How long was John married before his wife died?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
And after his wife died, did you talk to him again or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I did talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to him, probably his parents, probably some other friends.
What's the point of doing that? She does it every time when they're like, "Did you know so and so?" She'll be like, "Oh yeah, I mean, I probably did. I knew their mom. I knew the person they went to college with. I knew Bruce Bovenbaum that was, friends with them." I don't. Is she just trying to like filibuster here or what? It's not like the cop's gonna go, "Oh, she talked to him and his parents. All right, let's rule her out."
You know, I'm sure I talked to him.
Yeah.
But you're not sure where he moved to after he got married?
No idea. I mean,
Never went over to visit him or
I don't think.
meet
I
his
mean, I don't
wife or-
think so. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I did. I mean, I know he lived on Roscoe for a long, long time. I mean, I may know. I mean, he may have told me where they lived, somewhere in the valley. I mean, he may have said I lived over such and such, but I couldn't tell you specifically where.
But you don't remember specifically ever going over to visit him or visit them at wherever he moved when he left Roscoe?
I honestly, I don't know. I don't think so, but
Okay.
I don't want to say no. I don't think so, and then he says, "Oh yeah, she came over for something, dropped something off." I don't know.
So if you did go over there, it'd just be like a quick thing.
That was like the least convincing thing she said so far, which is saying a lot. That was really a weird word salad.
Like you're saying, drop something
I mean, Stephanie is fighting for her life here, like for her freedom. She's got to get it together.
off or...
Maybe.
But you don't remember as far as like going there to have dinner or like a social, anything at the house, party?
Well, if you guys know something, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, but...
After John's wife died, you said you may have been talking
I don't know anything. Do you fellas know anything?
to him. Did your relationship start up again?
I would say no. Again, can you give me a year? I mean, this is like 2009.
She died in 1986?
Yeah, I think it was 86.
1986.
Okay. Like I said, I'm faintly remembering that I went to Hawaii with my friend Greg. Greg and I got certified for scuba diving. And
Do you think she made a video about the GATE program while she was in Hawaii?
I'm thinking that John met us there, meaning Greg and I. That could have been. I got certified toward the end of 88, or 88, 89, because I got recertified again, and it had been like over 10 years, so I got recertified. My husband and I got recertified. And I'm pretty sure that John met us there. Again, I'd have to tell you what year it was. I'd have to look at my pictures. And other than that, I can't even say. He may have called me, at my home. I may have called him. I don't think he got together with our group.
I don't think after his wife's death.
Or even before, I don't. You know, we went to weddings together. You know,
Did you?
I got pictures. Like I said, I couldn't tell you years. It's been a million years ago.
After he got married or whatever, were you dating anybody in particular?
And that was what year? 1986, you said?
I think he got married in around 85, 86, something like that. Were you seeing anyone seriously, or?
God, I couldn't say. Geez, I'm trying to think. I mean, you know, I dated a fireman.
What was his name?
Mike Arndt. And I'm trying to think.
Was he
Don't forget about Mike Arntz, the fireman.
LAFD or?
He was LAFD.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think when I went. I probably met Mike. I went to Devonshire. Let's see, I left Hollywood.
Well, maybe she's a really good yapper outside of this. Maybe like the pressures of this kind of impending doom. I just think it's like it's a really surreal video, but like it's like she really is fighting for her life, and she puts up like the absolute worst defense for herself.
In 80, I worked Hollywood 84 to 85, I think, and then I went to Devonshire, and that's when I met Mike, and some other firemen. And
What, at the station next door?
no, actually,
Because I used to work Hollywood, so I just wonder if it's the station next door.
It was when I worked Devonshire. I met Mike.
Oh, okay, all right.
And I'm trying to think. I went to Devonshire in 85, and I'm thinking that I would have met him probably sometime shortly after I went to Devonshire, because I actually met his buddies at a fire. And then Mike and I dated, you know, just really kind of casually.
Uh-huh.
And we remained we remained good friends.
You still in touch with him?
Did Mike Arnst hit the pussy? That's what I want to know.
Or?
Unfortunately, he passed away.
Oh, really?
He died in he had a car crash.
Hey, can we talk to Mike Arnst about this story? Oh, can't. He died. He passed away recently. Come on, Stephanie.
He did race cars, and he went heading into a wall.
He's a fireman, and he's a race car driver, and we kind of dated, and no, you can't talk to him. He's not around anymore.
I couldn't tell you what year that was, but he passed away. He was in a coma, and they pulled the plug.
Right.
Seems like anyway. So, you know, I couldn't even tell you what year. I'm thinking I went to Devonshire in 85, and I know I met the guys because it was kind of a funny incident of how I met them. And that's how I remember it was sometime probably 85.
Right.
You know, if you specifically, I don't even know if they remember. The other two are now married to somebody else because I kind of, all three, I mean.
Did you kind of socialize, like when you were out with Mike, did those guys come out with you too? Was it kind of like, did you do stuff with his friends? Or?
Well, there was two firemen, Eric and Gary. I met them first. Then they introduced me to Mike. So that's how I met Mike, and Mike and I dated.
Mm-hmm.
So, and not, I wouldn't even say, I couldn't even tell you for how long, because then it would say we decided, it wasn't working out, and we'd be better friends, and, he
Between the firefighting, the race car driving, and the dying, Mike just didn't have time for a relationship, essentially.
introduced me, I think, to some other guy who now is on LAPD, Randy Cordobas.
I don't think I know him.
Randy Cordobas.
Detective. He's got a twin brother who's on the fire department. That's how I met Randy, because he had a twin brother, identical twin on the fire department.
Okay.
And
wait, you and
I
Randy
dated him. When I couldn't tell you, it was before he came on the job.
Before Randy came on the job?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that was, I'm trying to remember if Mike may have. I'm trying to remember. Mike may have dated a girl that he dated. Oh, God, it sounds too weird.
This is gonna sound really weird, but he dated a girl that he dated. What?
Um, Randy may have dated a gal that Mike was dating, and then Randy broke up with that gal. I couldn't even tell you the gal's name, if I'm even thinking of the story right. And then I started dating Randy.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, not like I was a huge floozy or anything, but
No, but you know, I mean, a lot of times, right? At least from my female partners that I've had, it's hard dating guys that aren't involved in kind of our circle, right? Because some guys are intimidated by women police officers.
Randy was like an engineer at the time. He was like some kind of an engineer
on a rig, on a fire truck.
No, an engineer.
A professional engineer.
Yeah, and then I think he lost a job and then came on the department.
They're thinking of Mike Arntz. We're talking about Randy Cordobas. Hey, Kate, how's it going?
I see.
So,
But getting back to some stuff, as far as you recall, after John's wife died, did you start a relationship again with John, or dating casually, or anything?
This would be a good whiteboard stream to try to keep track of her many lovers, but she's not a floozy, so don't even go there.
Like that?
Like I said, he met Greg and I in Hawaii. Okay.
That was something you guys kind of planned together, like go as a group, or you ran into him, or?
No, I think that obviously I must have talked to him, and I said, hey, I'm going to Hawaii with my buddy Greg. We're scuba. We just got certified scuba diving. We're going to be in Hawaii. Hey, if you want to come and join us, come join us.
Right.
And I think that's what it was.
Okay.
I may have asked some other people to as well. What island did we go to? I think the Big Island in Kauai. He either met us on the Big
Island in Hawaii. I just want to say also, I'm not trying to dogpile on her, but this is a terrible outfit for your viral moment.
Island or Kauai. I'm thinking of Greg and I might have scuba dived a lot on the Big Island, as well as Kauai. I don't remember which island. Again, I'd have to look at my pictures. I traveled a lot on my vacations. I mean, I was always gone for at least a month, and I would go places, and I would either run into people or meet people.
And
I don't know what to tell you. I would go places, and I would meet people.
Greg, this Greg we're talking about, he was like someone you were dating, or just a buddy? Or?
No, you know what? I would say we started out probably just buddies, and either I was with somebody or he was with somebody. But it was kind of like we ended up just kind of being like brother and sister. And maybe he wanted something more, but it never worked out. But we did things together. I would consider him. I've probably known him. Let's see, I've been on the job almost 26 years. I've probably known Greg 23, 24 years.
So you still talk to him?
Oh yeah, he's dying of liver cancer right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, I consider him a good friend. I don't know what to tell you on that.
I mean, when you heard about John's wife being killed, I mean, what was your reaction? I mean, you thought you heard about it through a friend or?
Hey, Southwest, maybe this cop, after the interrogation's over, he'll be like, "Thanks for lying, but we got him."
Or in a bulletin or
either
something?
A friend or a bulletin. I called the family. I called maybe some of his friends that I knew, and I mean, obviously it shocked you if I heard it at work, which I may have. I faintly remember a bulletin going around. Either that or somebody called me. I also don't remember.
Right.
And then I probably called his family.
She said she saw it on a flyer at work. That was her original story way back at the beginning, was that she had found out about it because of a flyer at work. Is flyer like cop lingo for a bulletin that comes across or something?
Called, I don't know initially, I can't say if I initially spoke to him or not. I honestly don't remember. I may have said to somebody, hey, have him call me if he wants to talk, and then he may have done that. You know,
Do you know what the circumstances were regarding her death?
Geez, let me think back. Geez, I don't know if it was, if it was a burglary or something. Yeah, it's been so many years. I could
She got it right the very first time. She was like, "Oh, I don't know. It was a, if I have to remember, it was a burglary. I think."
faintly think that I may have saw a flyer.
Yeah.
There we
May
go.
have had her picture on it. I may. That's why I say, if somebody had called me, I may not have known what her last name was. I may have. Maybe if you told me, I would remember it.
Do you remember her first name?
Shelley, Sherry, I don't know, something maybe, like I said, it's been so many years, and
From all the years, as far as you can remember, do you remember ever talking to her?
well, I said earlier, I may have, I may have talked to her.
You mentioned a hospital, maybe. You may have talked to her at a hospital.
Yeah, I may have, I'm thinking back now. You guys are bringing up all these whole memories.
No, it kind of dusts off the cuff. We understand.
Geez. I'm thinking that because we would date. He would date other people. I would date other people, and I think
Her look is pretty terrible. I mean, this outfit's awful, but her vibe is pretty good. It seems like she likes to party. She's down for like bro trips to Hawaii.
at one point, he may have been dating her, or I don't know. Maybe he was married. I don't even remember. And I'm like, why are you calling me if you're either dating her or living with her or married to her? Because I honestly don't remember the time frame. And I'm like, oh, come on, knock it off. And now I'm thinking I may have gone to her and say, hey, you know what? Is he dating you? He's bothering me. And so I'm thinking that we had a conversation about that. One or two, maybe. It could have been three. I don't want to say I had three conversations with her.
Like at her work or at their house or.
No, I'm thinking that he obviously must have told me where she worked. I'm thinking it was a hospital somewhere in LA, and I could have been. Again, what year was that? Where was I working? I'm trying to think of where. When did you say they got married?
I don't know. I think it was like.
Oh, jeez. It seems like she's trying to like wear him out or something. Like she's just trying to exhaust him. I feel like her like conversation style is just like exhausting. Hold on just a second.
In 85 or 86 or something like that. We just kind of picked this up. We don't know a lot about it.
I could have been working in Hollywood, it sounds like, if that's where I was working.
Do you think Stephanie Lazarus was partying with like Magic Johnson?
So I could have said, okay, well, and I went and talked to her, and just said, hey, you know what, if he's dating you, he's keeps calling me, why don't you tell him to knock it off or whatever, and because I probably would have told him to knock it off.
You would have told John.
Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
I would have said, hey, and again.
But you wanted to tell her too. You wanted them both to know.
Yeah, if you're getting her called, and I'm faintly remembering when Scott moved in with me in 1993, sometime in 93, because I met Scott in April of 92. I was teaching DARE up in Oregon. And he moved down. In fact, he may have moved down in 92.
she's like directly asked them at least a couple times, like basically what they did know. She'd be like, I don't know unless you guys know something that I don't know.
92 or 93, there was the big earthquake. No, when was the big earthquake? No, 94.
94, yeah.
So
Northridge.
I think Scott might have moved in 93, sometime in 93. Excuse me. I haven't had my breakfast yet. And so, excuse me. And so I faintly recall that John may have
Sorry, I have a kitten and he keeps getting into mischief.
called a few times, and I'm like, hey, I've got. He goes, oh, can you talk or something? I'm like, no, I can't talk. I've got, I'm living with somebody.
Right.
And that could have been a few times. It could have been once. It could have been twice. It could have been 3 times. Yeah, I don't know.
And that's during the period of time of the earthquake that you're...
No, probably after Scott moved in. I think I met Scott in April of 92.
Oh, okay, right before.
April of 92, because I stopped teaching DARE. I think I stopped teaching DARE sometime in 92.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I know more about her DARE career than I do anything else at this point. Like, anytime her job comes up, she's working DARE. Like, what's the point of if you always have the same job, why do you have to keep bringing it up every time and then go into, like, in depth about what exact year it was?
And when you say that you may have, that you talked to his wife, said, hey, or I don't know if it was, I guess it wasn't his wife at that time, girlfriend or whatever. And
yeah, I don't know if it was his wife or his girl.
Right.
I mean, quite honestly, I don't even remember.
When you said, like, hey, he's calling me, he needs to knock it off or what have you, I mean, was that civil? Was there,
No, there was not. I don't think there was anything. If the conversation lasted a few minutes, I can't even remember. And what is it like, we went out to lunch or anything.
Right, but there was no, like, arguments or fights
I
or
don't think
it didn't
so.
get heated or anything like
Not that I recall, no. I mean, I would think that would stand out, I would think. Now, again, that's not standing out in my mind.
So you didn't have any problems with her then?
No.
You didn't have any issues with her?
No, I mean...
But let me ask you, it seems like you didn't have any issue. Now, did she have an issue with you as far as, because now you're telling her, hey, tell them to stop calling. Now, she's like, you figure she'd be threatened by you.
I don't know. I mean...
From what you remember as far as when you talked to her, maybe you didn't take it as serious, but maybe, did
Do you think she thinks she's, like, being effective in trying to get this sympathy?
She was bugging.
You mean, like, was she throwing things at me or something? Or,
well, no, just, as far as you're trying to explain, like, hey, have him stop calling me, stop playing games.
I tell you, if the conversation, I couldn't even tell you how long the conversation, if you said, did it last a half an hour? Did it last 3 minutes? Did it last 20 minutes? I can't even remember. It's been so long ago,
You just remember talking to her, telling her.
Yeah, and that's why you said, how many times you talked to her?
You want an Alex Jones stream soon? All right, I'll do one. I've got I got a New World Order documentary we can watch. Yeah, I remember DARE always, to me, made the drugs seem really awesome. It was neat to see them out, like, all out on the table. I was like, oh man, what if I had that at home? Like, it just looked really cool.
I don't know how many times I talked to her. Maybe it was once, maybe it was twice, maybe it was 3 times. I honestly don't know.
Right.
I don't know what year it was. If he said, I met her in such and such year, I'd go, okay, well, I don't even know what year you met her. I graduated from UCLA in 1982, okay? I graduated in 82. Like I said, I don't know if he graduated. I know he was a little older than I was, so I don't know if he graduated a year before or 2 years before, because people are on different, either on the 4-year program or the 5-year program.
What year did you come on the job?
83.
Oh, so almost pretty much immediately after you got out of school?
Yeah, I worked at a law firm.
I mean, this is, like, mentally exhausting for me. Like, this is, oh my God, we're only half an hour in. I was like, oh shit, the stream's gonna be over in like 5 minutes. What? Oh my gosh, this really is. This is like, it's like a spell or something.
Firm for a year, and then came on the job. But anyway, in regards to seeing him, not seeing him, We went to friends' weddings that were, from UCLA. I may have gone to
Quaaludes.
some of his friends' weddings from where he worked. He may have gone to things with me. I don't know how many times we went to do things, or didn't do things.
Right.
Like I said, his sister. I know his sister, his brother, his sister. I know stayed at my townhouse a number of times. I couldn't tell you how many times.
Right.
I would watch his brother, take pictures at a basketball game.
I feel like between the way that she talks and all this indica that I've been smoking, like I feel like I'm in like a time bubble. I can't believe it's only been half an hour. It feels like it's been like 2 or 3 hours. Oh yeah, vapes are the new focus.
Or two.
Where was your townhouse at?
In Granada Hills, below the Odyssey.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. The 405 and the 5. The 405. No, the 405 turns into the 5 to 118. They came down in the earthquake.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And you're saying when you went to see her, would you remember if it was at her house or at the place she worked at?
No, I'm thinking that it was probably. For some reason, I want to say that the hospital seemed that, if you say he got married in 85 or something, I'm thinking that, maybe the hospital was on my way to work in Hollywood. I mean, that's kind of sounding familiar.
Would you have gone on duty?
Oh, no, I'm sure I wouldn't have.
No.
I'm pretty good about not doing stuff.
Oh.
No, I'm not saying that, you haven't done stuff on duty, but I
noticed in like the recommended videos off of this, there's one about how to read the subtle, mind-blowing nonverbal cues that Stephanie Lazarus gives off, and I can't imagine anybody that would think these were like subtle mannerisms or whatever.
I would have. I would have been working with somebody.
Oh, yeah.
So I wouldn't think. I try to avoid doing stuff on duty.
Oh,
so.
Okay. So you would have gone. If it was en route to work, you more than likely would have gone to her work and had this discussion with her.
That's sounding familiar. That's now that you guys are bringing this stuff up. That sounds familiar. But again, what's this got to do with me dating him and her getting killed? I don't have anything to do with it. And you got something that's somebody said, whatever.
It kind of makes sense now that she's not as in tune, because I was thinking like if this person was a detective, which I thought that's what I read she was, that like she would be a little more in tune with what was happening. But if she was just running the DARE program, then I kind of get it.
Well, like we said, we just literally got this the other day, and you're going through it.
Yeah.
And you see
and you saw me say,
your
oh,
name.
it's Nick's next door.
Right. And so, obviously it's like we recognize the name, and we know that, you work next door to us. And so we're trying to get some background. We're trying to figure this out. This is from a long time ago.
Oh, I know. And
and things have been kind of slow for us. And so, Chief Beck has said, hey, I want you guys working. I don't want you just sitting around reading the paper.
Yeah.
So he's kind of pushing some older cases out even to the guys that work active cases because, and so we see this and we're just like, well, we want to talk to you about it. But, of course, the only reason we did it here is because we're getting into some pretty personal stuff in your relationship.
My husband's on the job, and we've been married.
We don't want to take the risk. We don't want to take the risk when one of those interviews.
You don't want to talk about Mike Arnst out in front of everybody.
And even when the door closed, someone's going to get supplies and sees us on a monitor or hears or whatever.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Like I said,
that's where people go when there's orals. When they're doing orals, guys will go in there and try and watch. And what are the answers to the questions?
I didn't know.
That's where they go to do the orals, and then the guys come and watch, he said.
That.
Yeah, so we just want to afford you the most privacy and confidentiality we could.
No, I appreciate it. And like I said, this goes way back, and it was very sad. Obviously, I haven't. When we were in college, some of us would go down to his house in San Diego. I went down to his house with him, with him. And I know I'm trying to think of some other people that may have gone down.
Is that where he grew up? Is down there?
Yeah, down in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
I know his dad was a professor at San Diego State. I don't know if he still is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened to his sister, don't know what happened to his brother. I'm sure his dad's probably retired by now. He was, I think, older even back then.
Right.
And I can't even tell you the last time I had any contact with any of them. It's been so long.
Did he tell you what happened? Like what he heard from the detectives or the police, or?
You know what? He may have. For some reason, I'm thinking that, again, this is like drugs or something. I think I faintly remember him mentioning something maybe about cocaine.
That she was involved with that?
I don't know that he said she was involved or they thought she was. Again, it's been so long. He could have told me the whole story of what happened. And, like I said, I'm faintly remember either between him or the flyer that there was.
Unless you have any evidence to the contrary, I don't think that's what happened.
Some kind of a burglary,
Let me ask you, did the detectives ever reach out to you?
No one's ever talked to me. I don't think anybody ever talked to me about him.
It seems like back then you would have been...
I'm thinking that I did talk to a detective. God. Well, what division was it?
In Van Nuys?
And where was I working?
1986?
I would have been working in Devonshire. I'm thinking that I did speak to somebody.
Oh, really?
I couldn't tell you who it was.
Because it doesn't
It was
say
probably
anything.
on the phone.
Okay.
Would it have been somebody in regards to this, or just...
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I don't even know if you said a name, if I would remember it. Because I worked Van Nuys for a while.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I worked...
Detectives, patrol?
No, I worked detectives.
Uh-huh.
When did I go to Van Nuys? I worked Devonshire till...
Okay, so in Van Nuys, she was a detective.
88. Then I went to Dare till 92. I worked twice at Van Nuys.
Both as a detective?
Yeah. Sometime in the 90s. Yeah, I know before I busted my leg up, I was there in 98, because that year sticks out because I had a really bad leg injury. And I was there prior to that, but I couldn't tell you what year. It was just a few years. I made detective, I think, in 93.
Whoa.
93. So I was at Van Nuys, and then I went back, and then I had a leg injury, and then they transferred me to Devonshire because I couldn't drive.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't drive very far with my bad leg injury. So, but yeah, I think I talked to somebody.
Would you remember any of the conversation as far as what they were looking for? Or?
Couldn't say. They may have told me. I said, hey, I went to school with him. Either somebody called me or I saw the fly. I may have seen the flyer at that point, and I called up. If someone's name was on the flyer, I may have called to speak to them. I said, hey, if there's anything I can do, call me. This is where I work. I went to school with them.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't say. I couldn't tell you who it was.
But you do remember that someone you think reached out to you?
You mean a detective?
Yeah, called you up and talked to you.
Or I called them, one of the two. But yeah, I remember talking to somebody, but I'm thinking it was a man. I'm sure there's probably more men back then.
Yeah, probably
right.
more.
I bet.
So again, that's really all I can remember about that.
Yeah. Let me get back to as far as when you said that John was calling you to see you, and during that time you felt that he was either seeing her, was he engaged or married? Did you know?
Couldn't say.
You don't remember?
I don't know.
Uh-huh. Would he ever?
Let's see. My husband.
Did it ever appear?
Well, no, that would have been Scott moved in '93. So that would have been, you said 86 or 85 or something.
Scott's your only husband? You've never been married?
No, never been married. I got married in, I think, 96. Well, no, I got married in 96. But he moved in 93.
Mm-hmm. But during that time that you were seeing John, was he acting kind of squirrely or kind of sneaking around when he'd hook up with you or anything like that? To make you think, hey, this
Oh,
guy...
he probably was. I mean,
because from the impression I get is you've known him a long time.
Well, let's see.
From what, early
I met him in
80s?
78. No, I met him in school. I started UCLA in 78.
So you know him well. During that period of time.
Is she just hoping to like bury them in so much useless information that it'll like overpower any useful information? This is just, it's like...
Yeah, I mean, was he acting squirrely? I don't even remember where he was living then.
Well, after...
I don't...
Well, let me ask you, after he hooked up with...
He's like, well, whenever you were around him, was he acting weird or anything? And she's like, I don't even know where the guy was living at the time.
I mean, if he was living on Roscoe or wherever else he was living.
Right.
Well, after he hooked up with Sherry, do you know where they were living?
No, you asked me that already.
Uh-huh.
And I said, well, obviously they were living in Van Nuys division.
Yeah.
I may have known.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did he ever give me the address? Maybe. I don't remember. I mean, I don't know.
Because the only reason I'm asking you again is because as we've been talking, I know some stuff has come to you because you're like, oh, it seems like you're So that's why I'm asking if you've ever been to the house.
And when you said Van Nuys division, I'm sure he could have told me. I mean, he could have told me. He could have told me where he lived.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever have gone there?
I don't think I've ever gone there. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to say, no, I've never gone there, and then you say, oh, I was at a party. Because I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've got these friends. We have parties. My house, their house. I just don't think John ever came to. Again, at one point, because we knew people from school together. I knew different people. He knew different people. I knew people that he knew from his work. That lived in the valley.
So as far as for social events or anything,
me.
I mean, it's...
That was just so, like, unbelievably convoluted. Like, I don't even know how she's coming up with all this stuff.
I mean, you're not sure if you ever been to the house because...
But it's safe to say that would have been the only time, like for something social.
Yeah, if I went there for something social, yeah.
Okay.
I mean...
Because I know you went to talk to her at the hospital regarding this issue with John. To, kind of like, hey, what's going to happen here with this thing? But would this ever have followed up to her house when you went to talk to her to say, hey, you know what?
I don't even know that I knew where they lived. That's what I'm saying. I don't... If I knew where they lived and I'd been there, if it was for something social... I would, and I can't see how many times I saw her face to face. He lived on Roscoe. Did I ever see her there? I don't know. I mean, I may have seen her at his apartment on Roscoe.
Mm-hmm.
I may have met her there. I mean...
But you didn't have any issues with her, right?
No, I mean, obviously, if he was dating me and dating her, I probably said, hey, pick or something,
Fair.
back
That's
then.
fair.
I can't say that we ever screamed or, it's, I mean, he was a pretty mellow guy, I think I was pretty mellow. I don't think we had some big, huge blow up to say, why we stopped dating or, and I even think that when I was dating him, I was probably, like I said, I was probably going out with other guys and he was probably going out with other girls.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, would you remember if she snapped on you and just like, hey, man, it's my man, you get it, leave him alone, blah, 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 that kind of stuff? would you remember an incident like that? I mean, because that would be like, what?
Well, and maybe that happened. I mean, gosh, it's been so long ago. I mean, that's not ringing a bell.
Because the times I've seen you around at our office,
I'm crazy.
But you're always kind of like real.
The apartment on Roscoe, yeah. This is just really, I don't know what she's thinking. Snapped women who killed, yeah, literally.
And you seem kind of bubbly.
Oh,
I bet she might even have one.
People think I'm really hyper, but I can get upset, and then I forget 5 seconds later. You know how guys razz you and you go, I mean, I've done that in the office, but it's like, and then
I don't have premeditated anger. I just, I just lash out and then I'm fine again.
and then I'm, I mean, people
Water
think,
under the bridge.
yeah, I mean, it's like people think I'm crazy, and then they think I'm crazy at home, and I'm a hyper person at work. I enjoy my job. I get excited. I enjoy the job. I've always enjoyed the job.
Well, you got a good gig, so.
I don't know. It's like I said, this stuff's been so long ago. I'm sure as soon as I walk out here, I'll go, oh shoot, I did 25 things I'll remember.
But you'll call us, or I mean, you'll just come over to our desk and tell us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else you need to know. Like I said, we knew friends together. A lot of the friends that that we socialized in the dorms, I would say, I mean, there was a group of us that we were all really close. I mean, even this one guy I was thinking of, Diana Basta. We were all really close.
Diana Basta, another character to add to the whiteboard.
I haven't talked to her in a million years.
Diana Basta being a friend of you and John's, or?
Yeah, we all lived on the dorms together. I don't know if she lived on the same. I'm trying to think. I know John lived on our floor because his roommate was Dave Newman. Dave Newman now is a big shot, whatever.
Big shot Dave Newman.
Movie producer, director, something, I don't know.
And that was John's roommate?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
okay.
then the guys that lived across from me, Jim Jaskell and Roy Sakaboo, something like that. They lived across from me. Diana Basta, I don't know if she lived on our floor. Maybe she was the RA. Diane Sherman, because I still remain friends with Diane Sherman. Not that I'm not friends with the other people, I just don't see them. A gal named Smita, Sally, Kathleen,
So I looked it up, and Dave Newman, there's a really famous composer, but writer, director, not so much on the level that she's talking about being like a big shot.
So we were all on the floor. I mean, some of them were athletes, some of them weren't. I said John played basketball, his brother played basketball, I played basketball at UCLA for
Yeah, that would be a good drinking game a million years ago.
2 years. One of the girls swam on the team, one was on the crew team. So we all did stuff together. And then I'd say after we all graduated, we went to weddings. I went to weddings.
But Sherry was.
We went to weddings, we went to parties, we went to social events, may or may not have been in the home, which may or may not have had a large confrontational moment. Who's to say? It's a million years ago.
Wasn't part of this circle.
No, I don't even know how he met her. I don't even know where. I mean, I don't know where he met her from. I don't even know. He told me where he met her from. I mean, he may have told me. That's not ringing a bell. And there was lots. I mean, there's just. There was other people that knew other people, that were friends of everybody's. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
Well, one of the concerns I had is looking at some of the notes is some of Sherry's friends said that you and her were having a problem because of the John situation.
Well, number one, I don't know who her friends are. Because again, I don't recall if he did tell me where he met her. I don't know even who these
What a reaction that was. That was really wild. She's turning into like a super villain at this point.
friends are. A problem, like I said, if I spoke to her, I mean, I'll go on as far as a limb, and I don't even want to say I spoke to her 5 times because that's probably not even true. I can't even remember. Again, did I meet him at her place when he lived on Roscoe for, I think, quite a while, but I couldn't tell you how long he lived on Roscoe. And the only reason I remember the place now is because it's like a huge dope place now where they, it may have
The big dope place in Roscoe.
been back then, but maybe we didn't know back then. I could have met her there. I could have,
But they're,
I don't even know that I met any of their friends. I can't say that. I don't know that that's a true statement.
well, that's what I'm reading is that you guys had problems with each other and words were being exchanged, and it's all relating to John.
You know what? I can't say.
You can't say.
No, that doesn't even ring a bell. I mean,
it seemed like, yeah, you would recall something if
I would-
somebody's going off on you,
I
right?
would-
I mean, at this point, he's just hitting her with like all these haymakers in a row, and she has to rally here.
think. I mean, I would think.
Yeah, because it's.
But that
Because it seems like your relationship with John was kind of. I mean, you've known each other for a lot of years.
yeah, it was just kind of. It was like.
But it.
A problem? What's a problem? Am I under arrest for bumping into someone at the cocktail table?
Doesn't seem to me, from what you tell me.
I mean, we were never engaged. I mean, it
Right,
wasn't like we
yeah.
were planning to get married. It was like it was. I don't know how to describe it. I mean,
Would you say there wasn't a lot of drama in this relationship?
oh no, I don't think there was drama.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's why I'm asking, as far as what the friends are saying in regards to this, the problems that they're saying you were having with Sherry. I mean, it seems like the
that's-
relationship is just going on an even plane.
Turning up the heat, more witnesses, it's problems now instead of problem. Her friends, I don't know if I know her friends. I don't know if he told me where I met her, if I ever met her. Yeah, this lady is wild. This is a great interrogation. She's still got plenty of time. She can save this though. Well, she doesn't, but she should. She should at least put in, a strong finale performance here.
that just I don't have a recollection of that at all.
No.
No.
And because from what you're telling me is when you guys met at the hospital, you guys talked, but it wasn't, from what you recall, confrontational
I don't think so.
from either side.
I mean, I'm trying to turn my memory back.
Oh boy.
And I'm trying. I can't even picture the conversation. I mean, I can't even picture the conversation.
Well, let me ask you. At the hospital.
Confrontation, I mean, who's to say what a confrontation is? If I gave a sly look, is that a confrontation?
It never got to the point where people are going, hey, everybody go to your own corner type of thing.
I don't think so.
Nothing like that.
I don't think so. I mean, I really don't. I mean, if you say people said that, that's not ringing a bell to me at all. I mean, it's not. I mean, that's not ringing a bell to me at all.
Was there ever a time when you and Sherry were talking and John had to maybe go like, hey, you guys relax, or anything like that?
I think so.
How about, ever going to her house and having a dispute like that?
If I met her ever at his apartment, maybe. I mean, maybe we could have met I could have met at her apartment.
Now, is this the apartment in Roscoe?
I'm thinking that the hospital thing, that sounds familiar, that I met her there. I just can't say that I've ever, again, was I there with other people? I don't know. I don't think I ever met her there or him there, meaning one or the other. I don't think so. I can't, I don't think so.
Because
Meaning one or the other?
I know the way my wife is. at our house, she wouldn't want my old girlfriends there, you know. So I don't know if maybe she had the same mentality towards you, if, as far as
She knows she's sunk. She should just be like, your wife sounds like a bitch, and at least go down with some dignity.
you ever
Well,
being there or being welcome there, you know, because it's.
You know what? If somebody said I was there when they were there, then that's possible. But I don't recall. I mean, I don't think so. It's not sounding familiar.
Yeah, because I guess basically what I'm asking is, you know, were you ever welcome to the house? Like, you know, hey.
Oh, come over?
Yeah, come on over. We're having a barbecue, you know, a dinner party, Christmas party, whatever.
You know, I don't know.
You know,
I'm just trying to think. You know, like I said, because there were so many of us that the two Dianes.
She looks like the like evil entity character from like those like Ring or the Grudge movies. She like makes these like really fast, jerky motions. Yeah, all of her friends from the dorm.
Jim Jaskell, Roy, Smita, this gal Smita, another.
Jim Jack Leroy? What? Jim Jack Leroy, Smita, Mike Arnst, Randy, what was his name? Carboni, something like that.
Another friend of ours, Beth. She seems like everybody I know is passing.
Oh, did you notice that? She's like, oh yeah, Beth, she passed away. Oh, everybody's passed away.
Away. She passed away. She was a child diabetic and got very ill. We would all socialize. Like I said, I don't think John ever. It's hard. I don't want to say he never socialized with us. You know, it's been. I'd have to almost go back and look at pictures, because I take pictures. I mean, I usually when I go to functions, I have 10,000 pictures.
Okay. The pictures keep coming up over and over again, and they're not really relevant in any way. Do you think that she's hoping that they'll say, hey, you know what? This would be easier. Why don't you run home and get the pictures, and then she can make her, like, run for it? I don't know otherwise why she keeps bringing the pictures up.
Okay? I'm a picture nut.
I'm a picture nut. There's a t-shirt for the web store.
Let me ask, when you were seeing John, would you, I take it he would pick you up in his car, you go in her, you know, your car, things of that nature, when you guys would go out?
Well, yeah, I mean.
Do you remember what he drove?
Well, I know at one time he drove either a 240 or 260Z.
Any other cars that stand out in your mind?
What in the world is going on here? This seems like it's like a cursed video or something. Whew. This is getting wild as hell.
I don't know how long he drove that 240 or 260Z for. And the only reason I say that is because I think I may have a picture of it with him in it.
What kind of car did you have back then?
Let's see. What year?
Or are you like one of those young cops that like, oh, I got a paycheck and bought a new car?
Oh, no. I've only had like a few cars in my whole life.
So what'd you have when you came on the job?
Okay, well, my first car was a 68 Chevelle.
Oh, my God.
68 Chevelle. And then I had a Toyota, some kind of a Toyota hatchback, but I forget what the name of it was.
Like a Corolla or Tercel or something like that.
Tercel.
Yeah.
And then I had my truck.
Did you ever have any problems with your cars?
Like what?
Just anything in general, you know, car wrecks, anything stolen.
Yeah. No, my car's never been stolen. Oh, no, crashed, hit and run. My Tercel was hit and run. Again, I got pictures of the hit and runs. And I don't think any of my cars had ever been stolen.
It's always back to the pictures. Like, does she really think they're gonna let her go get them?
No. My cars haven't been stolen. Broken into.
None of that, huh?
Oh yeah, my cars have been broken into. You know, but no cars have ever been stolen.
But she's not a car floozy. She was driving other cars. He was driving other cars, which is to say either of them were driving cars, but she can't remember what any of them are. But she has photos of all of them because she's a photo nut.
Hold on. Well, tell me about this car getting broken into.
Well, my car has been broken into several times.
Oh, really? Did you ever lose anything, or?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, let's see. I had a gun that was stolen. I had other stuff that was stolen.
Not your duty gun, was it?
No.
Oh, that's good. Was it ever recovered?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. Not that I know of.
Never been notified?
No. Car's been broken into, yeah, several times.
Where did that happen? When your gun was taken?
Trying to remember. I'm sure you guys must know. Because my car was broken into in Ventura.
Like, how do you think she thinks she's doing? I mean, she's continuing on, but that might just be because she knows, like, the game is up and she's just trying to run the clock out, I guess. But, like, do you think in her mind, part of her at this point is still like, I've got him, I've got a shot, I can beat this?
I think in Santa Monica. I have relatives that live in Santa Monica and Venice.
Who lives there?
My uncle. Well, I had several uncles. Yeah, could have been Santa Monica, Venice. My car's been broken into in Ventura before, so.
Is your mom still around, or? Yeah. Your dad?
Yeah. What?
Well, the first time I read about a car burglary was in, I think, 1977, 79. It could have been 1980. Who's to say?
I don't really have much of a relationship with my dad, so I couldn't tell you where he lives if you want to know.
Oh, really?
No. Yeah, couldn't tell you.
Well, like I said, as we were looking at the case, and we had read the notes as far as from Sherry's friend saying you guys had problems or words, and they got heated. And the reason we're asking you is they had mentioned that an incident at her work had occurred, and they've also told us that an incident at her house occurred.
You know what?
And this is at her house during the period of time that they're married.
That's just not sounding familiar at all. I mean, you know what? That's just not sound. Again, if someone says that I was at her house.
It's got to be such a terrible feeling, especially when you're talking about a murder, like a pending murder charge, for them to allow you to paint yourself into this corner that you've never had a confrontation with this person that would even warrant remembering, that like nothing, there was never anything, you don't even remember meeting the person, and then to be confronted with this like mountain of eyewitness testimony.
And I had an incident with her. That just doesn't sound. Was John there? Did John say this happened? And other people were there. I don't recall. I mean, it just doesn't sound, familiar.
And this is an incident where you showed up. You weren't supposed to show up, and things got heated.
At his house?
Yeah.
That just doesn't sound familiar. I mean.
Nothing.
It's not sounding familiar.
Did John tell you about that? No, he didn't tell us about that one. Oh, well, you'd need to talk to John. But he did tell us about this incident. Oh, I don't remember that either.
So
not at all.
Now you're saying not familiar because it's just something you remember, or it's just...
you know what? I'd have to say I don't remember, because I don't remember. That doesn't sound familiar.
I mean, would you
You know,
remember something like that in your life? If
well, I would think,
some
but
sort of drama involving, the other woman type of thing?
Did you ever fight with her?
you mean like we fought?
Yeah. Did you ever
Yeah.
duke it out with her?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
You'd remember that, right? That would be pretty.
yeah, I would
She doesn't remember for sure if she got into a fist fight with this individual.
think so. I
Pretty
mean,
specific,
yeah, like I said, I mean,
traumatic.
obviously, I, I mean, it just doesn't sound familiar. I mean, what are they saying? So I fought with her. So now, I mean, I'm getting the jump, the leap. Excuse me.
Cooked. Absolutely cooked.
I haven't eaten. They're saying, okay, I fought with her, so I must have killed her.
There you
I
go.
mean, come on. I mean,
That's it. Game over. Game over. They got her right there. 1 hour and 1 minute into it. She completely cracked.
it just doesn't sound familiar. I mean, what are they saying? So I fought with her. So now, I mean, I'm getting the jump, the leap. Excuse me. I haven't eaten. They're saying, okay, I fought with her, so I must have killed her. I mean, come on. I mean, that's, I don't even know who these people are. I can't even say I met any of these people. I mean, it's insane. If it happened, I honestly don't remember it. That's all I can tell you.
But I don't know. I mean, would it be something you would remember? I mean, because I don't know if any other intense incidents in your life that have occurred, I mean, you'd recall those, right? I mean,
well,
like a use of force at work or a car crash, something you're involved in, you'd be like, yeah, I remember.
you would think I would remember. I mean, I would think if it was something that crazy. I mean, I can't say. You say, how many fights have you gotten into, in your life? I mean, a few at work.
Well, fights at work are kind of different because we've
Oh, now she's admitted that she's had fights with her coworkers. This is not looking good for her character. Stephanie is unraveling at this point.
all had uses of force or whatever. But
Well,
I
I
mean,
haven't even had even a lot of those. I mean,
right. But if you're actually,
I mean, I played.
like if Dan and I got mad at each other and we threw blows in the squad room, I mean, 20 years later, I would remember it. I mean,
I would think I would remember it, but
pretty unique.
that's what I'm saying. That's not sounding familiar to me at all. I mean,
Let me ask you, I mean, throughout your life, would you remember the number of fights you've been involved in? And I don't mean kind of like a bump or something, just a
She's really painted into a corner here, because if she's like, oh, listen, I fight with people constantly, I really wouldn't remember one fight over another, then she's definitely looking suspicious. But then if she says like, oh no, I've only been in 2 fights ever, then it's like, come on, you're cooked, Stephanie.
physical fight where everybody's hitting each other, scratching, pulling, whatever.
maybe. I mean, I can't say I've been in a lot. I played sports.
Yeah.
You get into scuffles there, and
And you recall some of those, right? I mean, just
yeah, I can recall some of them.
games get intense.
But like I said, you saying this is just not ringing a bell.
Nothing.
I mean, but I don't know what to tell you. That's just not ringing a bell to me.
It'd be something.
I would think I would remember.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you're in this,
I would think so too.
if you're in this other girl's house and
but
words are exchanged, I mean, you figure you recall.
I would think.
Especially if it got physical, right?
Well, I would think.
And it's relating to, a guy that you were dating, but
Well,
she's dating now, and it's just kind of like a whole love triangle type of thing. I mean, you figure you remember that, right?
Well, I would think.
Oh my God.
So.
I mean, I don't know what to still tell you.
Yeah. No, because I'm looking at the notes, and these people are kind of, they're pointing the finger at you.
Well,
Oh.
And
I mean, that's.
This is so anxiety inducing. This whole conversation has just been so exhausting, and now we're kind of like we're breaking free from her handling the narrative, so I feel like it's a little less stressful to watch. But now it's like watching her like like freak out internally is kind of a roller coaster too, though.
It's not ringing a bell to me, so, I don't know, you know, it's, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that just sounds crazy to me.
Yeah. So you, offhand, you don't recall ever going into her house and having words and physically,
No.
attacking her attacking you?
No.
Nothing like that?
No. I mean, no.
Nothing?
No. No. Not at all.
Okay. Well, on some of the, on this case, this it occurred in '86, right? Detectives processed the scene, things of that nature. They did fingerprints and all that stuff. You know the standard stuff. I mean, you've been doing this longer than I have.
Well, I don't know about that. I got 26 years on, going on 26.
19, so. But, as they processed everything, they did the best they could at that time, and they looked at a lot of people and different things in this case. And you're right.
Oh no, she's about to find out about the DNA evidence.
I mean, if you guys are claiming that I'm a suspect, then, I got a problem with that.
Okay.
Okay? So.
What? Is she just now, like, feigning the idea that she didn't know she was being, like, interrogated? Yeah, altercation. I mean, we were having a conversation, and then there was a rage quit. Is that a confrontation?
If you're doing this as an interrogation, you're saying, "Hey, I'm a suspect." Well, now I got a problem with, now you're
Oh no.
accusing me of this. Is that what you're saying?
We're trying to figure out what happened, Stephanie.
Well, I'm just saying.
She can't be that stupid. Like, there's no way. Unless she's trying to prepare a defense of like, oh, I didn't know I was being questioned, but I mean, you're in the interrogation room.
Do I need to get a lawyer if you're accusing me of this?
You don't have to. I mean, you're here of your own free will. I mean,
no. I know, but
I mean, you're not under arrest. You can walk out.
You can leave whenever you like.
Well,
Oh man, can you imagine the dread that would set in when she realizes she's been sitting here for an hour, like spilling her guts, and she could have just got up and walked out at any time? How does she not know that as a law enforcement officer?
I'm trying to give you some background of how I knew him, and now you're telling me that somebody's saying that we had this big old fight, and I don't even know what you're talking about, and I don't want to get in trouble for something that I didn't even do, or you're saying I did something.
Okay.
Yeah, we understand.
I mean, how would you guys like it if the tables were turned on you?
I understand. No.
No, that's what we're telling you. I mean, you're free to go whenever you want. If this makes you uncomfortable and you want to,
now you're starting to make me
man.
uncomfortable.
The thing is, I mean, detectives did what they could at that time on the crime scene. Okay, and the burglary thing you're talking about, that is an angle that they looked at. But now we're looking at everything else on the case. Because nobody was ever arrested on the case.
I don't know that or not.
Okay. Now, what we'd like to do is, obviously you know about all the DNA stuff and things of the nature.
I don't know that, and I also don't not know that.
Nature that, gets done on cases nowadays. If we asked you for a DNA swab, would you be willing to give us one?
Maybe. Because now
Because
now I'm thinking I probably need to talk to a lawyer.
Okay.
I mean,
well,
because I know how this stuff works. Okay, don't get me wrong. You're right. I have been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
And I wish I had been recording this because now it sounds like there's you're selling these people say I'm a fighter.
Oh, by the way, Stephanie, you don't have to worry about that. We've been secretly filming this entire interrogation.
With her, and now it sounds like you're trying to, I've been doing this a long time.
yeah.
We know.
Okay, and now it almost sounds like you're trying to pin something on me.
No,
now
but-
I got that sense.
Well, what it gets to on these cases, and you know it as well as I do, our job is to identify and eliminate
I
suspects.
can't believe this.
So if we ask you to the point to give us a DNA sample, a buccal swab, so we can identify or eliminate you, would you be willing to do that?
Maybe.
Well,
Because I know this.
well, that's where we're at too. I mean, because right now, from looking at the evidence, it's possible we may have some DNA at the location.
That's great.
And we're going to do what we can to try to put this thing together. And your name's in the book. These people are pointing at you for whatever reason.
I don't know why.
And-
That's just crazy. I mean, that's absolutely crazy.
And it would be irresponsible on our part not to look at it.
Listen, all these people making these accusations, these are crazy, insane people. You can't trust any of them.
I know. You guys have to do your job,
And-
and I guess I'm going to have to contact somebody. So,
That's fair.
I mean, because I know how this stuff works. I
Sure.
mean, I just can't believe it.
I mean, we understand that. I mean, if we were in your position, I mean, we would feel the same way.
I just can't even believe it. I mean, it's just, I mean, I'm shocked. I'm really shocked that somebody would be saying that I did this. I mean, we had a fight, and so I went and killed her. I mean, come on.
Well,
That's,
okay.
Uh-oh.
All right.
well, thanks for giving me the courtesy. I wish I could recorded that.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Stephanie, take care.
All right.
Like, do you think she had to go back to her desk and, like, finish out her day at this point? I figured they would, like, reprimand her. Or no, remand her. Is that right? That's what I was thinking. I didn't think, 'cause I think she probably would have made a run for it. Okay, so she looks like she comes back. I don't know. I looked at the update, like the most recent thing I think was in May. She got denied parole. What a great interrogation.
This is insane.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. Stephanie, you know you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand?
Yes,
Anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand?
yes,
You have the right to the presence of an attorney before and during any questioning. Do you understand?
yes.
If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you free of charge
Amazing.
before any questioning if you want. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you want to talk to us right now?
No.
All right.
Okay.
This
then.
is crazy. This is I'm like in shock. I'm totally in shock.
Wow, that sorry, that was pretty amazing. It's not my favorite like interrogation / deposition, but I think it was pretty entertaining, pretty wild. All right, well, thanks for hanging out with me and watching this random interrogation video. I appreciate it, and I won't be here tomorrow.